All right, so this should be recording. You guys probably watched my boring PowerPoint presentation on using ChatGPT to generate PowerPoints for work. This is very boring, but there are interesting things that you can now do with ChatGPT, including accessing APIs and building what are essentially ChatGPT bots or like apps that 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 will eventually make it into some sort of ChatGPT store. I think, to be totally honest, I think ChatGPT's developing their own little ecosystem or walled garden where you'll be able to access these things, all baked into the GPT ecosystem. But anyways, let's try something different. For this presentation, we're going to be using they're called GPTs to build a bot that is going to access a couple APIs and generate a graphic for us. So this is just something I wanted to try. I've done this presentation before, but the video didn't record properly. It basically turned into a slideshow with perfect audio but shitty video. So we're going to try and redo this presentation. So anyways, when you're in GPT, when you're in ChatGPT, you need to have a GPT Plus license to create GPTs. But if you go in the top left corner, you click Explore. And then up here, we're going to go create a GPT. And GPT is going to ask us what we want to build. A lot of this is going to be us talking, having a conversation with ChatGPT. What would you like to make? I would like to make a service. Oh, let's GPT doesn't care. Like a service that requests a cat fact. That's right, we're doing a cat facts bot from an API. Request a date from the date API and combine those to generate a calendar photo that people, let's say postcard, that I can email to colleagues. Whatever. There you go. Let's see what it says. So it's going to take my instructions and be like, hey, this is a great idea. Let's give it a name. And so we're going to see what it tries to do for a name. So one of the things with pre-recording this is there's a little bit of Sam Altman got fired on Friday from ChatGPT. The board basically kicked him off, and now there's talk of him coming back. So I'm trying to pre-record this because this is a web service. This is a service that is being consumed quite a bit, and I don't want to have any interruptions when I'm doing the presentation. So hopefully pre-recording this like a television cook show. But anyways, let's give the GPT name. How pause dates creator. I don't like that one. It'd be like, how about perfect facts? Let's see what it says. Generating a profile photo. So it's going to take the name I gave it and then generate an image. So let's wait and see. There we go. Here's your profile picture for perfect facts. It features a whimsical hand-drawn cat. What do you think of this image? Would you like to make changes? The image is fine. The image is great. So you can see over here now, the bot's there. I have create fun calendar postcards, and then it's also given us text or suggestions for people to use this. What can they do? All right, fantastic. I'm glad you. Now let's refine the context. Could you tell me more about how you envision the interaction? All right, so right now we're just going to pause this because I want to give the GPT access to the APIs. And to do that, we're going to click on Configure, And configure is kind of like the back end of all the text that we're talking about. You can see how it's building things. But we want to create actions. And the actions are going to be where we put in the APIs. So I'm going to take the weather one. So this is just an example schema for the endpoint, for some weather endpoint. But I don't really care about that. But I'm going to use it as an example. Now to use it as an example, I'm going to get ChatGPT to make my own sample for me. So we're going to use GPT 3.5. Analyze this JSON schema template. So we're telling it it's a template, and I want it to review it. There we go. So it's going to do its analysis. There we go. JSON template appears to be simplified. Great. Recognizes it. So what we're going to do is the first API is the catfacts API. And catfacts. And we want specifically facts, and we want one fact. So we're going to try it out. Make sure it's working. It is working. And we're going to use this URL and tell GPT to make that schema, that JSON schema for it. Using that template, generate a JSON object for catfacts API. Here's the URL. And endpoint for a single cat fact. There you go. Certainly, blah, blah, blah. Here's the JSON. This is what I wanted. Get a single cat fact. Deprecated. All right, so we're going to copy that. And we're going to go to our example text. We're going to go like this. And give it a second. So it's available actions. Get cat fact. Get fact test. Authentication. So there is no authentication, but you do have authentication options if you want to do more advanced API calls. At some point, we will get to an OAuth option. And it also wants the catfacts, the privacy information. I'm pretty sure the site doesn't have anything for privacy, but we're going to put something there, because if I don't put it there, it won't let me publish this bot. So we're going to test it, make sure this works. And perfect facts. Get cat fact. So we can see making the request, operation hash, debug, response. Oh, I gotta tell it to always allow. Requires approval. So you can see it's making the request and received response. Some common houseplants poisonous. Cats include English ivy, blah, blah, blah. Here's a fun fact. So that's working. That's fantastic. All right, we're gonna make another action, and this action is just going to get the current date and time. So again, part of some of the challenges here are that ChatGPT doesn't know what date and time it is. So we have to use APIs to do some of these things. So we're going to use the world time API, and we're just going to copy this URL. And we're going to get ChatGPT to do this. All right, here is another API. Let's generate a new JSON. I'm actually curious if through the process we could get ChatGPT to change the region or the path for that API. So, get current time. Actually, let's change it. Let's make this work for multiple regions. Let's remove America, Toronto. All right, let's see if this actually works. Time zone. All right, let's see if this works. So we're gonna go like this. Server. None of the provided servers under the root. None of the provided servers is under the root of origin. The server URL is not under the root origin. Ignoring it. It looks like we don't have access to the API. However, I can provide you with the current date and time based on my internal clock. Oh, maybe you can do it without knowing that. No, let's take a look. What time is it? $2023. Oh, well, let's forget about this part of the API. Like delete. So we're going to delete this. So it looks like ChatGPT is going to be able to figure out date and time, no problem. But we are going to go back into our builder. So the API is still there for CatFacts, but we don't have to worry about date and time, which is fantastic. All right, now let's refine the context. To start, would you tell me more about how you envision the interaction? For instance, should GPT provide detailed descriptions of the postcard it creates or keep the responses brief and to the point? I think it should be brief. Should be brief. Also include CatFact in the response. The response, yeah. The response should include a generated graphic based off of the CatFact. Graphic should also show the current the current calendar date in English. All right, let's see what it says. All right, so it's going to be updating. So I think one of the interesting things with these GPTs is now that they allow you to do APIs, it brings talking to the data that much closer, that much of a reality inside of ChatGPT. Great. Perfect for predictive response, cat-friendly facts. Could you tell me more about the types of interaction? Are there specific topics or styles that should be included in the postcard? Should be fun. Fun and also work safe. All right, let's see what that does. How are we doing for the recording? 13 minutes. I think we're going to be okay. So if we look at the suggestions, create a calendar postcard for this week, make a fun calendar postcard for my colleague. Yeah, got it. Perfect. We'll focus on creating work-safe content suitable for print. Now let's talk about the tone. Perfect. How would you like to communicate with users? Should it be playful, a friendly tone, or be friendly? This should be friendly. Should be friendly and full of cat puns. Like we are nothing if we do not make this cat bot full of cat puns. There we go. Excellent. We'll be friendly and full of cat puns, making each interaction delightful. You can now try out Perfacts. All right, so let's try out one of the suggestions. if you would like refinement, adjustment. All right, let's give this a go. So we click one of the automated responses. It's going to do the API call, and then it should generate the text for us. So if we take a look, long muscular hind legs enable snow leopards to leap 7 times their own body length. And we'll wait for the graphic to generate, and there should be a response as well. Did you know the snow leopard can leap 7 times own length in a single bound? Wish you a leap of joy. There we go. So it gave us a little postcard. It doesn't have the date in it, so that's a little disappointing. You can view the shared postcard by clicking on whatever. So, you know, like the language or the graphic, the language and the text in the graphics not perfect, but we're pretty close. Let's make sure we'll just tell it. So like all postcards, all generated graphics must include today's date. No, it must include today's date or the date of the request. Let's see. It's not bad. All right, perfect. Feel free to try perfect. All right, we're gonna give it a try. Postcard for today with a cat fact. So we're gonna click that, and we're gonna see if it goes. So it should go out, collect another API or another API call, get us a cat fact, come back and generate us an image. So what is the cat fact? Normal body temperature for cat is 102 degrees. Didn't know that. So I think one of the other interesting things is the bot knows we're only interested in the fact, like we don't care about how many characters it is, we don't care about the response code. It has somehow zeroed in on this is the desired piece of information we want. So I think that's kind of interesting. Whew, takes a while. One of the other things too that I've noticed is there is no there's no like callback and be like, who made this, you know, like, who is the author, where can I get more information? So to do that, I'm going to get my Twitter link here, or X, whatever you want to call it. That's still going. There we go. So profile. I just want the link. I'm very lazy. Oh no. Captured an image and hard to if you have a request. So it had an issue. Let's try this again. Let's add one more requirement. All text responses from perfect facts must end with a Twitter link to the author's Twitter profile. This bot was created by John Bain. Here is his Twitter profile. All right, so we add that, and then we're gonna run the cat facts thing again. I wonder how well the Open API status is doing. It's in my saved links here. So yeah, there were some issues today, relatively fairly up. but right now it's all green. So let's take a look. So the update, the behavior has been updated. Yeah, perfect. Playground, see if any of these work. Generate a postcard for today. So we're going to rerun the prompt that we had done last time. And we're at 20 minutes now. So if this works, this will be the end of the presentation. But yeah, so while this is going, I think it was worth mentioning too, you know, like we spend a lot of effort building dashboards. I honestly think that the future of data analysis is going to be talking to the APIs or talking to the data. And you're probably going to do that through, oh, this did pretty good. Probably going to be doing that through an LLM or a chatbot. But yeah, here we go. Blue-eyed, pure white cats today. You know, again, the text is, like we're doing text and graphics. This is pretty good. Here's your tailored postcard. It features a serene, graceful, blah, blah, blah. Fascinating fact. The blue-eyed, pure white cats are frequently deaf. I hope this adds a whisker of delight for your day. For more creative content, feel free to check out John Bain's profile. That's it. Like, that's fantastic. They do look like postcards. I should make them into like Pokemon or something like that. It would be able to write in that style. But yeah, so that's the end of the presentation. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Oh, I know where we can save off. If I save this and make it public, I can then give this to other people. And when I give this to other people, they can create their own CatFax postcards. And all I have to do is give them this, and they'll be able to access it if they have GPT+. If I go back into the GPT, oops, go back into the Explorer, there's our app right there. But yeah, all right, so end of the presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. This is large language models, GPT, and APIs.